Did you know that there's a supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy that weighs 4 million times the mass of our sun? In fact, in the 2 trillion galaxies in the universe, there is a supermassive black hole at the center of every one. I'm Maddie, an astrophysicist working with Astro3D. I study supermassive black holes and the galaxies that they live in. Today we're going to learn all about galaxies and their supermassive black holes by baking galaxy cupcakes.
First, we need to make our black holes. I scooped a teaspoon of chocolate hazelnut spread into a ball on parchment paper, one for each of the cupcakes, and then froze these overnight. I'm making 6 cupcakes, but you could double the recipe if you'd like to make more. Instead of making these balls, you could also use round chocolates. To make the galaxy cupcakes, we start by adding a half a cup of milk and a half a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar to a bowl, and we'll let that sit for a few minutes to curdle. We then add a quarter of a cup of vegetable oil and a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract and whisk to combine. We then add a third of a cup of sugar and whisk until that starts to dissolve. In a separate bowl, we have sifted 3/4 of a cup of plain flour. To that we add 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/4 of a teaspoon baking soda. We then add the flour mixture into the wet mixture and whisk to combine. Finally, we add some sprinkles. Mine are shaped like stars. Spoon this mixture into 6 greased muffin cups. Fill the cups to about halfway. Then coat each of the black holes in flour and place gently on top of the cupcake batter. Cover the black holes with the remaining batter. Place the muffin tin into an oven preheated to 180 degrees Celsius and cook for approximately 15 to 20 minutes until the cupcakes are lightly golden and a skewer inserted into the sides comes out clean. Once cooled slightly, remove from the muffin tin and let cool completely on a cooling rack.
Our solar system lives in the Milky Way, a massive collection of stars, gas and dust that we can see when we look into the night sky. The Milky Way is a spiral galaxy. It is flat and has beautiful spiral arms. The Milky Way isn't the only galaxy in the universe. In fact, currently scientists estimate that there are more than 2 trillion galaxies in the universe. Some of these are spirals and disk galaxies like the Milky Way. Some famous examples are the Pinwheel Galaxy and the Whirlpool Galaxy. But spirals aren't the only kind of galaxy. Some galaxies are shaped like a ball or a sphere. These are called elliptical galaxies. If we look at galaxies in the universe, we see that disk or spiral galaxies are quite blue, whereas elliptical galaxies appear red. This is because of the kinds of stars that make up these galaxies. Young, hot stars are blue, while old stars are red. Disk galaxies are generally blue because they have a lot of active star formation, forming tens of new stars each year. This is because they contain lots of gas, which is where stars are born. Elliptical galaxies contain lots of old stars and don't have much current star formation. This is why they appear red.
Now we ice the cupcakes. I have buttercream icing in blue for the spiral galaxies and red for the elliptical galaxies. For the spiral galaxies, place the blue icing in a piping bag with a star tip. Starting from the centre, ice the cupcakes outwards in a spiral. For the elliptical galaxies, spread on the red icing over the surface with a frosting spatula or butter knife and make little swirls so that the surface is rough. Finally, add sprinkles.
As well as these cupcakes, I've also made larger cupcakes and smaller cupcakes. These represent the diversity in galaxy sizes in the universe. Smaller galaxies are generally quite clumpy and irregular. They haven't formed the beautiful spiral structures that we see in larger galaxies. The largest galaxies in the universe are generally red elliptical galaxies. These are thought to have formed when 2 disk galaxies collide. At the center of every galaxy in the universe is a supermassive black hole. These can be billions to even trillions of times the mass of our sun. Black holes are a region of space that have an extreme amount of matter crammed into a very small amount of space. They're extraordinarily dense. The gravity around them is so strong that not even light can escape their gravitational pull. Astronomers are currently trying to understand what formed these supermassive black holes, but we're still not entirely sure. One of the best theories at the moment is that these formed when the first stars in the universe exploded at the end of their lives. These seed black holes can then grow by merging with other black holes and accreting gas that's in the galaxy. When a supermassive black hole accretes a lot of gas, we call this an active galactic nuclei or quasar. These are the brightest objects in the universe. You can learn more about quasars in our earlier Astro in the Home video. One of the most surprising things about supermassive black holes is that their properties are tightly related to the properties of the galaxy that they live in. For example, the more massive the galaxy, the more massive the black hole. In my 3 different sized cupcakes, I've placed different amounts of the chocolate hazelnut spread to represent the different sized black holes that live in each galaxy. Astronomers are currently trying to work out why this is true. Both galaxy and black hole growth relies on the presence of gas in a galaxy. Gas forms stars and black holes grow by accreting gas. We also think when 2 galaxies merge, this causes black hole growth and new stars to form. We also know that the extreme power of an active galactic nuclei can heat the gas in the galaxy and prevent new stars from forming. So, the lives of galaxies and the supermassive black holes are tightly connected. You can't have one without the other. Next time you look at the night sky, remember that there are trillions of galaxies out there. Blue disk galaxies with beautiful spiral arms and red elliptical galaxies full of old stars. And at the centre of every one of them is a supermassive black hole, some of the most extreme objects in the universe.
Astro 3D is the Australian Research Council's Centre of Excellence for all-sky astrophysics in 3 dimensions. Our astronomers are searching to understand the evolution of the matter, light and elements from the Big Bang to the present day. This Astro in the Home series is your opportunity to unlock the secrets of the universe with your own 2 hands. Find out more by visiting our website, following us on social media, or subscribing to our YouTube channel to be notified whenever we upload new content. Now, go explore the universe.